David Bay here from MuscularDevelopment.com. I am here with George Farah, wrapping things up from day 2 of the IFBB North American Championships. As you guys know, we had bodybuilding all day today and the women's fitness. We'll quick rundown of the women's fitness. Your A-class winner, Savannah Hughes, or Hodges rather, pro card winner, and your overall winner and B-class winner, Kim Scoffins. We're going to go right into bodybuilding, guys. Not going to talk about fitness too much here. Let's talk about some of the masters classes first, then get into the open. Your over 35 class. We had 2 pro card winners, Corey Henderson and Sean Harris. Let's start with Corey. You know, he was here for Masters Nationals, real pretty physique, got second, I think to one of your guys or somebody in the light heavies. And you know, he was a little upset, came back here. Really nice shape on this guy.
Oh, it's beautiful. He's beautiful. And that's why, you know, after, like, he was a little disappointed at the other show. But I told him, I said, listen, man, you just got to hang in there. You have an amazing physique. You're in the row. Now, you know, when you're number 2, you're just going to get better. You're going to be number 1. So, and he did it. He hung in there. So,
all right. Then we had Sean Harris. Now, Sean, he won the overall in the over 35, but he was really close. We were sitting together when the heavyweights came out in the open. As you guys might have saw, he went toe-to-toe with Gerald Williams. It was really a pose-by-pose call, but he really kind of took the over 35 heavyweights pretty easy.
Yes, it wasn't. What I thought, you know, some people that were disagreeing with me, but I thought was an easy win for him because his sheer mass, and for the first time, I really see him like in that type of shape. The waist in, everything's in. Proud of him, man.
Yeah, it was the best I've seen him look. I've seen him compete a few times over the years. He went toe-to-toe with a buddy of mine. I've said this a few times on camera at Junior Nationals in like 2007 and looked really good. But when he came out tonight, or this morning rather, at prejudging, he looked absolutely fantastic. Moving into our over 40, Corey Henderson was the over 40 light heavyweight winner. And then we saw Deshaun Glass, old school guy, man. He's been after it for a little while.
Where's the beard? No, yeah. He looks really good. But that you know, they actually show you, man, like this is the show, man, between the Masters and here. This is the show for those guys, man, that they have the drive, they have the love for bodybuilding, you know what I'm saying? Don't give up. I mean, you know what I'm saying? You're still getting your pro card. You saw my guy, Drew Jamont. He won over 40. Yeah. He placed third.
He got third behind Cedric and Branch.
Exactly. Yeah. So there's nothing wrong with you getting your pro card because you still can get a shot at the open shows, and that's what these guys got to do.
Absolutely. Now, in our over 50s, we had Joe Tong, guy that just turned 50. He's been at it for a while. And our over 60 winner, Clint Struby. Now, we're going to get into our open. I'm just going to kind of brush over our lighter weight classes. Our bantamweight winner, Wayne Huger. Our lightweight winner, Israel Reyes Leon. Welterweight winner, Tom Bowerman. A little bit tall for a welterweight, but man, this guy had really good lines, really good conditioning.
Really?
He did miss his pro card. Now, is this a guy, you know, again, a little bit tall for a welter. Can he go to Nationals and USAs and get a pro card?
You know, I think if he go to National, keep the same condition, he have a good shot at it. You know, especially with 2 pro cards given at the class. It's a no-brainer.
Yeah, I talked to him a little bit after prejudging. You know, he was asking for some feedback. I thought he looked fantastic. You guys reading in the play-by-play. He was a little bit worried about running into some of your shorter guys, like your Santi Aragons, and these guys are going to be packing a little bit more muscle. I kind of had the same critique. You know, they're giving away 2 pro cards at Nationals. He shows up in the same condition with those same lines. Exactly. He's going to do well. Moving into the middleweight class, this was a pretty tough class. I'd never seen our winner, Chris Jones, before, and he came out, and as you guys probably saw in the play-by-play, you know, I was really impressed with Chris. All the lines, everything. For as good as the class was, he was a clear winner here for me as well.
Yeah, I mean, I only saw him when they did him tonight because at the prejudging, I missed it. You know, I don't know what it was. I doing. Somebody called me or whatever. But I heard, you know, he was good. And then when I saw him, he really deserved to win.
Yeah, absolutely. And your runner-up this morning, or your runner-up tonight, rather, Justin Yurko. I've never seen this kid before either. You know, we talked about how good the middleweights were at the USAs. None of these guys were at the USAs, and they came here and really impressive. And this Justin Yurko, you know, he was, I mean, from head to toe, nothing was missing. Totally complete bodybuilder. He was in really good condition. His glutes were all striated. I mean, everything. So he shows a lot of potential. And then in 4th place from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, your middleweight winner at the Junior Nationals, Valentino Harris, representing really good for Wisconsin. So look for big things from Valentino coming up, making Wisconsin proud. Moving on into our light heavyweights. This was the class of the show, hands down. You know, I said in our play-by-play,
Again,
Mitch
from your area.
Yeah, Mitch is he's Midwest. He's Midwest.
Yeah, he's a Midwester.
Midwest-ish.
He won Jack the Tone show, right? Before. So.
Yeah, oh yeah, Jack was backstage. How good is Mitch stats, man?
Listen, Mitch is going to be really good. As a matter of fact, we were just talking, me and him, and I told him, I said, listen, I don't say that to too many people because he know me. I'm honest. We really hit it off, me and him. And I told him, I said, dude, you're going to be an amazing 212. I mean, this guy can go to show literally right now and be a threat because he's that pretty.
And that's what that's what I said in the forums, and I've talked about it a few times in the interviews. And when you were competing, and we talk about 90s and in the 80s and stuff, guys, when they won their pro card, they were ready to compete as a pro. And somewhere in the mid to late 2000s, there became this trend where I'm going to turn pro, I'm going to take a few years off.
Yeah,
it works for some people.
Why.
But, Mitch, he's one of these guys where, I saw him, and I made a pretty bold prediction. I said on the forums, I said, I don't think it's unreasonable to think that he could be at the Olympia in the 212 next year. Not to say he's going to walk in and win shows, but he can definitely be top 3 and get enough points.
Of course he's going to be there. No, Mitch is an amazing guy. He's an amazing athlete, and he's a family man. He has 2 kids, beautiful wife, very good people. His mother was here supporting him. So he's a great guy. I think he's going to be an amazing pro.
All right. Now, also in our top 3, we had 2 other really good. I mean, the light heavyweights was really deep, so I'm not just going to say our top 3 were the only good guys, but that's what we're going to focus on. Our third-place finisher, Jordan Janowitz. Jordan was second here last year, moved up to the heavyweights at Nationals. Didn't really work out for him. Came back as a light heavyweight, kind of the pre-show favorite. Looked really good on stage, but when he turned around, lacking a little bit in the back.
He's good. But the problem, he ran into Mitch. I mean, honestly.
Right.
The guy, he looked like a pro. You know what I'm saying? That's what we were talking about. I mean, these guys were good, but you know how, like, you have a surprise in the show. And, he's good and stuff, and me and you were talking, but then when he started posing, I said, he goes, your overall winner, remember? I mean, you can see it.
You can see it. Yeah, and our runner-up, Kane Bishop. Kane did pretty well at the USAs last year, rather the Nationals. Yeah. Surprised a lot of people. Came here, got second. I mean, his aesthetics are right at the top.
He still look amazing. Like I said, but just like once in the blue moon, you get some guy and you're like, oh my God, this guy's nobody's gonna beat him, and that's what happened. Nothing taken away from these guys. You know what I'm saying? I mean, just like Phil Heath came on the scene, nobody expected the guy to do, but he killed everybody. So this is like the kind of sometimes you get people, man. They're just genetically gifted. They're hard worker on top of it, and it pays off. But all these, I mean, we mentioned all these 3 gentlemen. Really, every one of them can be pro soon.
Yeah, and you made a really good point. I did an interview. I was talking with Bob, and for the life of me, I can't remember which show it was at. They all seemed to spill into each other, which guy we were talking about. And Bob pretty much made the exact point you just made. I said, what does this guy have to do to win? And he said, we'll do a show where this guy's not at. Exactly. So it's like, it's basically Mitch stats just came out and was that dominant. He really looked like a seasoned IFBB pro on a stage. And not to say a stage of amateurs to take anything away from any of the other guys, but he really looked like a seasoned pro. So, obviously, all the congrats in the world to Kane and Jordan, but you guys picked the wrong show, or he picked the wrong show, or whatever.
Like I said, I mean, you listen, the guys are in the class 45 guys. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? They should be so proud of themselves. There's 42 guys, 41 guys that they would love to be in their shoes. You know what I'm saying? So they should be so proud of themselves.
All right. Now, moving on to the heavies, not quite as deep as the light heavyweights for sure. It was kind of a 1-2 battle between Gerald Williams and Sean Harris. We talked about that a little bit before. Let's focus a little bit more on Gerald. Got second place to Cody Montgomery, who we all know took the overall at the USAs.
Another guy like nobody was going to beat.
He lost a little. He lost a little bit of ground. The critique on Gerald was his arms. He won in some back shots. His leg looked really good, but his shape was enough to get him past Sean.
Oh, he have an amazing shape. I mean, and that's what helps him. You know what I'm saying? But like me and you, I think we both mentioned that his arm. Like I never seen somebody like that with that symmetry that have a small arm. So it was like a little weird. You know?
So I think if Gerald can bring those arms up, he can definitely be a good pro. He's going to have to get a little bit bigger all over, but if he keeps that shape. Moving on into the super heavyweights. Super heavyweights, kind of another similar to the heavyweights, that it was kind of a 1-2 battle between Dan Newmeyer and Russ Allen. Steve Weinberger, the head judge, give both those guys their fair shot at the middle. We know Steve likes to move guys around, and you know, one of you guys will know that if you follow the shows and if you follow the national shows and the pro shows where Steve's the head judge, you know, everybody knows that the guy sitting in the middle is usually in first place. And sometimes you get shows where somebody sits in the middle the whole time, and it leaves the crowd kind of wanting, like, hey, we want different guys in the middle. We want different comparisons. And Steve's kind of known for, he'll bounce guys around, but the bouncing around was pretty much just between Russ and Dan.
Yes, yeah. I mean, you can tell right from the get-go that these two are going to be battling out. But what I like, what actually something is heading. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I probably saw it myself. We didn't talk, me and you, but I like what Steve was picking. He's picking everybody with a small waist, with a good symmetry, no bloated stomach, nothing. Even that, I have a guy who took second last year. You know what I mean? And I was disappointed because he was in the second call out. But I explained to him. I said, dude, your belly. I mean.
So just because you trained him, he didn't get first place?
you know what I'm saying?
I know. I'm just
because I did have a guy in the first call out too. So you know, so it's not the guy that I didn't expect him to be in the first call. He was, but based on his beautiful symmetry and stuff. This another guy, he took fifth. He's going to be an amazing athlete. So
yeah, and you know, Jason Janoff rather. Jason, one of those guys. He he was a little bit of a dark horse coming into the show. Interesting build for a super in that he's really tall, really big frame, but he's got really good wheels. He won the Pittsburgh 2 years ago and really just nailed his conditioning. If this guy fills out his frame, especially his upper body, how good can this guy be?
Dude, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm predicting right now he's going to be the next big thing. And not because he's my boy, but I'm telling you, I can see, you know, even Mr. Mannion, Mr. Mannion doesn't like talk a lot, and he said, oh my God, this guy's another 20-30 pound on his upper. Forget it.
Because he hasn't been training that long.
Exactly. He's not, you know, he's only been training for a few years. Really, he haven't killed it. So when he reaches potential, remember, he's a young kid, good looking, small waist, beautiful symmetry, calves, hamstring, everything. His upper need to be bigger, but I'm telling you, he's going to be unstoppable.
And guys, and you know, we like seeing the tall super heavyweights. Speaking of the tall super heavyweights, you know, some of the guys coming in here that you know made a little bit of splash on the internet, social media. A few of the guys miss. You know, it's kind of funny that, you know, the guy who did win this, Russ Allen. I mean, Russ was a heavyweight at the USA's. He weighed in here just over 225. I mean, Russ winning the open super heavyweights and the over 35 super heavyweights really speaks volumes for the fact that how much you weigh on stage doesn't count for anything.
I've been telling people this all my life. Dude, I turned pro at 175 pounds. I went to the Olympia 3 times. You know, places high as fifth.
In the open before they had the 212.
What I'm trying to say is, like, you know, don't worry about your weight. It's all about illusion, man. Just have, you know, pick a coach. It doesn't matter who. If it's your mom knows how to coach you, fine. Just make sure you get shredded. You know, you know what I'm trying to say.
Right.
Some people, like, everybody want to be coaching, which is okay, you know. But as long as you pick a coach that makes you, you know, like, work a little harder, man, suffer a little more. Not that's when you see your abs, you're ready. No, look at your glutes, look at your lower back. That's what determines if you're ready or not. You know what I'm saying? And we see it today. The people are in shape, not necessarily they're 260 and 265. You know, they're winning the super heavy.
Yeah, so guys, I tell you what, you know, this was all around for bodybuilding today. Was a really good day at the North Americans. Traditionally, anybody who follows the national level scene knows that the nationals and the USAs are kind of bigger. North Americans, not necessarily as big as far as bodybuilding depth. You know, they do have the masters classes in here, so you get a ton of competitors. As always, Gary Udit puts on a fantastic show. You hear nothing but great things from the competitors, the organizers. But man, the really good athletes decided to come here to the North Americans.
They came to this show. That's what I said. So there's no USA, and you know, there was nothing like this, man. This guy, I mean, these guys, every class was stacked, and every guys were good, man. Every one of them was like on his A game. So it made it exciting to see the bodybuilding. Because, you know, a few years back, we were talking, me and you and Sean, man,
bodybuilding. Yeah, I tell you what, guys, you know what? Yeah, the talk is, and you guys, you know, some of my good friends in the industry that, you know, do other things for other companies and stuff like that. You know, we talk back and forth, man, is bodybuilding dying? Is it not dying? You know, it's all over over the MD boards, you know, oh, is bodybuilding dead because of men's physique? And you come here like this, you see the light heavyweights. Man, the light heavyweights had the third call out. They had guys that, you know, were great. Bodybuilding's not dying.
No, it's not. Not after what I saw tonight. Like I said, I'm trying to explain to people. It's not dying, man. We're still in full effect, full throttle right here.
All right. But I'll tell you what, man. Team Mexico.
Oh my God.
You know, we don't see a lot of the guys. You know, we've talked about the winners and stuff like that, and so we don't see necessarily a lot of the guys. But what I definitely don't want to skip over is how many guys came up here. We saw some big teams at check-ins, and these guys necessarily weren't in the top 1, 2, 3 spots. But man, there were some really good bodybuilders from Mexico.
I'm telling you what, I was looking because my best friend in Mexico, and I was looking a little bit to the pictures and stuff. If these guys were to show up the way they show up in Mexico, I'm telling you, they would have ruined a lot of people's weekend.
Yeah, I mean, it was.
You know, I think the traveling took a toll. The food, not holding to the diet, it kind of killed them. But these guys,
there was a big, you know, actually, you know what? Here, tell you what. Tell you what, we're gonna do something real random. Kit, come here once. Our camera guy, Kit Sanderson from MD, he's usually behind the board. George, I'm gonna have him kind of. Kit Sanderson, guys. This is a guy who's behind the camera for MD Latino, doing a lot of stuff. I hope you don't mind us pulling you on camera. No. There was like a big show like a week ago or something down south of the border, wasn't there?
The 63rd Mr. Mexico show. And for some reason, they really get excited about the Mr. Mexico show. There were over 900 competitors this year, and in the absolute overall, so there's no shortage of talented heavy or mid-heavyweight bodybuilders.
Now, when you say absolute overall, give us a comparison for, you know, how that would compare to how the things are, you know, in the States with the MPC.
Well, definitely. If just the 90-kilo division, if the same guys that went up from Mexico came up in the same condition as they were last week, they would have won.
Travel. Well, everybody knows getting on airplanes, travel.
The pictures will say it because we have the pictures on the websites on musculardevelopment.com and mdlatino.com, and the pictures say it all. You know, the symmetry, the diet, the fullness. You know, I think the traveling, the experience, but you know, Mexico's catching up. So it's part of the North American IFBB. There's a lot of synergy between the countries, and definitely bodybuilding's not going anywhere. It's definitely not dying; it's growing.
Well, I was in Mexico. You guys might remember 2 years ago for the Tijuana Pro, and I was shocked because for as crazy as the fans get, you know, you guys go to the Arnold, you see how crazy these fans get about the pros at the Arnold. It was, you know, it was a smaller show in Tijuana, but the Mexican fans treated the bodybuilders like rock stars. For me, it was funny and it was cool at the same time.
Yeah, it's really cool to see the culture come together and support the sport, so that's what it's all about, definitely. So look in the future, definitely in the NPC events and the North American Championships, especially next year, in the Arnold Classic Ohio and the Arnold Classic Brazil. So there'll be a lot of surprise monsters coming. I'm telling you, a lot of guys in 270, 280 pounds.
Who's this Elias guy? Who's the big guy that we should be watching out for from Mexico or south of the border?
He just missed the first call. It came in the second call out, maybe come in like 7th or 8th place. But Elias Gutierrez, he's about 6'2", 280 pounds. Look for that guy.
All right, guys. We'll tell you what, guys. We're gonna let you get back behind the camera, wrap things up here, George. We got to come back tomorrow at 8 a.m. That's going to be Eastern time, guys. So make sure to check back for everything we got going on at musculardevelopment.com. But for right now, that's going to be it. So for David Bay and George Farah, this is musculardevelopment.com at the 2015 IFBB North American Championships.